if you install Linux for the first time, Linux has its default setting. Linux has its default settings, and those default settings has path variable setting, right? Path variable, history size, and default shell, and many more things. These are all default. So that means when you create a user, that is going to use the same path. When you create another user, that is going to use the same history size, that is 1000. When you create a user 3, let's say, that is going to use the default shell that is defined by operating system during the installation time. But if you want to make a customized path or history or shell or number of things likewise, you can always customize with particular user. Okay, so if you all are understanding the same, just say yes message in the chat window that anything related to shell can be customized for a particular user. Okay, so just let me know by saying yes or no. Fine. So all right, wonderful. Now coming back to the question that Kshitiz you asked. So for example, what will be the priorities? The priority means, let's say I have created a user called U1 and I have entire OS. Okay, so operating system having a variable called path, and here we are having some locations. But out of this, every user is also having some variable like this. Okay, and if by logging to this user, if you run date command, first of all, whatever shell you have under your user, it is going to check here locally. Okay, if you don't have path variable, then shell will check for the OS path. Right, means so kind of it's a global path variable for every user. But if the user is having its own path, it is going to check it first. Now another question, let's say you have a date command and you have a date command present under USR and under /bin as well. So which path is going to check by the user first? Okay, that depends on what is the procedure of your path variable value. That means which one is the first, second or third, or there is a strategy management call with the history. So let me tell you what I'm trying to say is, for example, I think I need to connect battery. Okay, so just give me a second. So if I'm creating a variable, right, and what I'm doing is I'm just switching to a user called fire. Okay, under fire I'm going to copy a command called cal, right, and where I'm going to copy under hello. Then the same command I'm going to copy under videos. Okay, not exactly in videos. So I've copied this cal command under hello directory, and what I'm doing is under videos I'm going to create my own date command just to cross check. Okay, echo मैं तेजा हूँ, मार्क यहाँ है. Okay, I hope you remember that movie. So under videos date. Okay, so now I'm going to null and void this path variable with something. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this path variable to slash home and fire and hello. Then another path, so fire and videos. Okay, so these are two different path variable. If I can show you this, so only values I'm having under my fire user. You can see who am I? I'm a fire user. By the way, this command is not present, but I have date command under hello folder, that means here. Also I have date command under videos. And the question was, if I run date command, which one is going to execute, the hello date command or the videos date command? So if I hit enter, see, that means your system, sorry, I think I need to give a cal option, sorry, it was my mistake. So what I need to do, I need to change date with cal. I think आप समझ गए होंगे मैं क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूँ. So the thing is, let me just rename it. थोड़ा सा सब्र रखना आपको. So I'm going to rename fire videos date with home fire videos with cat. Okay, and if I try to check the permission of home fire and videos and cat, it's all fine. Okay, now what I'm doing is, sorry, I'm again logging back to fire user. You'll be understanding everything, don't worry about the process. Okay, so if I just switch back to fire user and set path variable to home fire hello as well as home fire videos, okay, I can show you the hello is also having cal command and videos is also having cal command. If I hit enter, by default it is searching in the first, but let's say if to check the same thing, if I am using path is equals to this column home fire hello, okay, and running cal command, see, so that means it is going to check the order the way you store the value in path variable. I hope, Kshitiz, it answers your question, right? And even if you're having, different command, it is going to search in the first location, second, third, and so on. Okay, so I hope you all are understanding कि अगर एक ही path पे multiple locations पे same command है तो what will be the process. So give yes or no message in the chat window that if you are understanding it. Okay, so here hello was the first and the videos was the second, so cal command was working from here, and here videos is the first and hello is the second, so like this. Okay, so expecting response from everyone, that means it is very simple. So what I'm saying is similar kind of question will be there in your exam. Okay, similar kind of question will be there in your exam. So I'm planning for first exam of RLNX at very good level. So we'll be having kind of scenarios over there. Okay, anyway, so moving back to this and back to user again. Fine, so this thing is clear. Now first of all, these two variables we have discussed. The next feature about shell See, whatever variables we are defining, for example, we are defining variable like something x is equals to 10 or 100, okay, and equal to $x. This is not a persistent variable. That means if you close this terminal, it is going to vanish, okay. So we need to find out a place where we can put every variable in a very much persistent way. I mean, it will be stored forever, okay. But before that, we need to understand, even if I reboot the server, all the history is always stored permanently. So if I want to check where exactly this history is getting stored, so to check the same, there is another variable called hist file, and this variable is having the name of that file where your history is getting stored, okay. So echo dollar hist file, so this is the variable name, okay. So I'm just generalizing it, okay. What I'm generalizing is it. So let's say if I'm having shell named bash, so bash is having some hidden files. What are those hidden files? Dot bash underscore history, right? Definitely to store all history data, all history command, okay. Another file we are having is dot bash rc. Another file we have dot bash underscore profile. These both the files to store variables permanently, right? Variables like, let's say, path or hist size and many more, okay. So when you use bash shell, bash is having at least these three files. So hidden means if the file is starting from dot, this is hidden. Now the magic is, let's say this is your Linux based operating system. So how shell is interacting with OS. For example, if you create a user called u1 and user, sorry, if you create a user called u1, we know that user u1 is going to store all its data under home u1. So whenever you create this user, you know what, under this u1 folder, everything will be automatically created, right? So if you are using bash shell and you are creating a user called u1, so bash history, rc or bash profile, these three files at least automatically stored here. Similarly, if you create a user 2, same way, slash home user 2, and this data is also stored there. And for root user, because if you are having root account, so the home directory of root is slash root, so under slash root this data will be stored. So it's a very glitch pitch thing, but you are understanding that under slash root for root user this data will be stored. This is a very important discussion that we will be having in near future. Number of practical cases. So every user can have its own history in this file. That means I can show you. See, I have one opening Mac terminal. So if I go there, echo dollar hist file. See, under root I have dot bash underscore history. And if I switch back to fire user, right, I'm having fire user. If I check echo dollar hist underscore hist file, what is the path? Home fire dot bash rc, right? So even if you see this hist size variable, so every variable like this or whatever it is going to, you know, have their own. I got one question, the difference between, RC and profile. So I'm leaving it up to you guys. So you can take your time one day and do your research. What the best answer you can give? The difference between file one and file two. This file one and file two. Not about this, right? So you can take your time today itself and try to find out the difference between bash RCML and bash profile. Okay, practical difference, and the answer that you will be giving, it must be working. All right. About bash logout, I'll be giving you more insights about that. See, so now I'm coming back to this. Sorry, exit. So if my current home directory for root user is this, I can check by ls-a. Okay, so if you see here, we have dot bash history, dot bash profile, rc, one more logout. I'm not going to give you some idea about bash logout right now. It has a different topic, but history, profile, and rc, these are the three most important files. Okay, so everything that's starting with the hidden, that start with the dot keyword in Linux is a hidden folder or file. So for example, even if I create something under slash root downloads, a directory called .ok, okay, and then I go there and try to access downloads. See, I can't see OK here because even if I do ls, I can't see OK. I need to use ls-a command to check the hidden folder. Even from graphically, you need to use Control H, right? Control H option, and to unhide also you can use Control H. Control H for Hyderabad. Okay. So same as file. So you can put dot before that. Okay. Now talking about how I can set all these variables. So for example, I want to set history size. Let's say I want to set echo dollar hist size is 1000. If I do hist size like 2, okay, so so simply this is going to be only happen for this session. If you check the history size, it is 2, and if you close this terminal and open it again, so this variable scope is only till the terminal is running. Okay, if you close the terminal, the variable is going to restore its default value, hist size. Okay, so how do I make it persistent? So if I am under root user, I need to check the home directory first. Okay, under this home directory, I have a file called .bash_rc. I'm going to open that .bash_rc and just go in the last, okay, last of the line. Just make a comment changing history size. Okay, so hist size equals to, let's say, 2000. Okay, hist size is equals to 2000. So this time whatever I'm doing, it is persistently going to be fixed. Okay, so I'm gonna use hist size variable, right? Once I hit enter, you know what is going to happen? Still the size is 1000 because this file will be loaded when you either log in a new root user or you close the current system, current terminal. Either log in a new terminal, that means if I open a terminal, so to terminal, open a terminal from command line, gnome terminal is a command, and if I just check here, echo dollar hist size 2000, but in the current session, if you check 1000, okay, so the bash rc file will be loaded if you start a new session, or you can close the existing. So here it is 1000, here it is 2000, because it is going to just update data at the next login. Okay, but by any chance, if you don't want to exit this terminal and you want to load it, so you can use source command /root dot bash rc. Source command is going to load the current bash rc and it is going to impact the file. So if you don't want to close that current terminal, that means you're doing something and you want to update right now, so you can load whatever changes you made there. Okay, so this is something you can think about. Okay, so .bash rc. Similarly, if I want to do for a non-root user like fire, so su means switch user hyphen and the name of user. Definitely, if root is trying to switch to fire user, it is not going to ask password because root can go anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to check, yes, it is my home directory. Here I have .bash rc, see, .bash rc, so .bash rc, and I can go in the last, and hist size is equals to, let's say, 20 or maybe 100. That means now the fire user is going to load source/home fire dot bash rc. It is going to use this history size. So for individual user, you can customize the history size, and similarly path as well. Okay, so even if you want to give a specific location to path, what you can do is in the last you can write path is equals to just, let's say, usr bin. That's it. So that means for this user only usr bin will be the path. Okay, you can just update that if you want. So one more thing, the same data you can also write in profile file. So if you want to write here, let's say hist size is equals to 1000 or 100. So whatever you can write in .bash rc, the same thing you can write in .bash profile as well.